Alright, so the second shock finally got here. Now, it'll definitely fit. We definitely have to scooch this one over a little bit. So, it's gonna look a little goofy, but it's gonna work. That's the important thing. Alright, moment of truth to see if these shocks will work. Second moment of truth with these shocks. Now, I brought them both to 50 psi, and I also brought the spring rate to the equal distance the way they were stock, or the way they came, you know, when I shipped here. So, even if it's not perfect right now, we still have a lot of adjustability to get it perfect if we need to go more or less with the strength of these. There's still a lot of adjustability to get it perfect. Oh. Oh, come on. Even two of them? We can always, you know, tighten up the springs a lot. But I was kind of hoping that this would, you know, be a lot... It's a lot stiffer than it was before. But yeah, if I jump this thing, it's gonna bottom out. So let's tighten them up and see if that fixes it. Alright, just dropped both springs down, I want to say like maybe 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch, and brought them both up to 100 psi. So let's see if this solves the issue. So it is a lot better. It's not perfect, but we don't want it so strong that it doesn't absorb bumps. So at least it holds me up, and we still have plenty of travel left, and we still have a lot of adjustability left. So let's just call that good and move on. Alright, so we put the radiators on, and I'm not really liking the placement of these because of how the frame is. They stick out pretty far, and it just looks really weird, makes this thing look really goofy. And there's not really that much room left for a gas tank, so the gas tank couldn't be that big. So I started trying to figure out like a different place for a radiator. different size radiators, and I had the idea of simply removing the headlight because we can't even use this thing. This engine doesn't produce electricity. So remove the headlight and simply stick a radiator up front right there. Now, this doesn't look any better, but it's going to perform a lot better. It's going to get a lot better airflow. It now allows us to have a much bigger gas tank, and having this here, it's out of the way. It's it's not in the way of anything. So now we're obviously not going to use this one. I bought a couple different size ones on eBay. The first one I bought is for a Honda CBR 125. It's pretty small actually. It's about this big. It'll fit perfectly right there, but I wasn't sure if it was going to be too small, so I bought a second one. The second one I bought is for a Honda CBR 300, and it's a little bit bigger than the first one. Still smaller than this one, plus it's also black, so it'll hopefully blend in a lot better with the frame and not stick out so much. So I think that this is a lot better option. It's out of the way. It allows us to have a much bigger gas tank, but it doesn't necessarily look any better. But who cares about that kind of stuff? It's gonna work a lot better. Now we also need to finish the tail section because we extended the rear tire. I think let's also extend this a little bit more. That will allow us to have a better placement for the mud guard. I think it goes like this. Because I think right here is a good placement for it. Once we install that, then we can finally install the muffler. So we pretty much have almost everything installed on here that we need to have to get this thing running and working. A couple more things we need to add is the radiator and gas tank. I just ordered the radiators today, so those will take a couple days to get here. Gas tank, that's going to take a couple days to make. Those things always take forever. Once we get those installed, then we can finally disassemble this entire thing, weld it all together, reassemble it, and then finally start working on adding fluids, getting everything finalized, hooking up all the tubing, the radiator tubing, the hydraulic lines, the clutch, and everything to get this thing finally working. That'll have to be for the next video. For now, I gotta end this video here. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see ya in the next video.